talk about the Belnet network. What infrastructure do we have? Actually, we do manage three networks, not only the NRAN, but also the National Internet Exchange and the Federal Metropolitan Area Network, which is used to connect federal governments with each other and with the outside world. All our networks have routing equipment, of course, layer 2 and layer 3, and they consist of different types of Junipers, one type of Cisco, and REIX is equipped with Force 10. For the Belnet and the BNIX network, we also do the optical equipment. We therefore have Alcatel-Lucent 1669 ROADMs, and we have our own fiber that we, well, it's not our own fiber, but we lease it for 15 years. The services that we offer are, of course, broadband connectivity in IPv4 and native IPv6, and the graphs that accompany them. We offer point-to-point and point-to-multipoint connections, primary, secondary DNS, reverse DNS. We are a local internet registry. We offer time services, Jabber. We offer certificates to our users, our connection institutions, EduRoam, RNE Federation recently. We also have the Belnet cert in-house and also the national cert in-house. We do the national grid. We have a video conferencing service, a multi-point control unit. We have, of course, a 24/7 help desk and a network operating center. And very recently, we added the Belnet leased line and the Belnet service router, which is actually a CPE device at the customer's premises, to our portfolio. The tools we are using for the network management are SNMP and MRTG for the graphs. We use Negios for our monitoring, and we're now implementing the weather map NAGVIS. We use Rancid and a version control system for the backing up of our configurations. We use Splunk and Syslog for our Syslog messages. We use a proprietary CRM system and a ticketing system that is integrated in the CRM system. We have an Arbor peak flow appliance for traffic analysis, but that's not open to our customers. We use an internal wiki, which is also MediaWiki, but we also have an external MediaWiki that we use for to put our procedures on, and it is accessible for third parties and our NOC and our help desk only. And then we also use a Juniper RPM for traffic measurements. And the last thing that skipped off my slides is some custom scripts that we use mainly to tie the whole thing together. The roles and the coverage of the Belnet staff. Now we have an outsourced staff, an outsourced NOC, which is first and second line, and we do the third line. Because my colleagues are called the experts. They only do it within business hours. There is an escalation path. Also with us, we are a very small team, 6 network engineers and 1 coordinator. Everybody knows all the networks. So in the past, we divided the networks amongst the network engineers, but we came back from that also due to our limited staff, and now everybody should know everything from all the networks. What are the responsibilities of these third-line experts? Well, they do the architecture of the network and all the different network projects. They are in charge of the change management. They report to customer support questions, but not due to an incident. We do software upgrades ourselves, and each network engineer is responsible for a couple of ops. So they do the pre-patching, they do the documentation on the wiki, they do labeling and maintenance. How is the NOC organized? So as I said, we have a 24/7 NOC for each network. We have one party for our Internet Exchange and the NRAN network, which is Alcatel-Lucent, and we have one party for the federal government network, which is Belgacom Telindus, the incumbent, also of Belgium. Those parties were chosen through a call for tender. That's the procedure in Belgium because we are a governmental institution. One of the outsourced parties is distributed and the other one is centralized. In my opinion, it doesn't make a lot of difference. We have better experience with the distributed NOC than with the centralized NOC. It might sound contradictory, but that's reality. Why did we outsource the NOC? Well, we don't have a legal framework to work outside office hours. And also with 6 people, it's rather difficult to do a 24/7 service. So the tools integration for the NOC, well, actually, because they are outsourced, they are independent from the tools we use internally. But with some exceptions, we use their ticketing system for updates regarding incidents, so they are the owner of all the incident information. They had a documentation system, well, they still have it, but we experienced, it became a mess, their documentation system. It wasn't flexible at all. And since documentation really is a key for outsourcing and for the good management of a NOC, we took the documentation role, and we are responsible for maintaining the documentation, for updating the documentation, and we publish it through the external wiki. And actually, our experience learns that having 2 separate monitoring tools proves a good thing because you can't rely on an outsourced party alone to do your monitoring. So you really have to monitor the monitors also. The types of users for the different networks. So we have the typical NREN power users. For the government network, we have the civil servants, and then also the typical internet exchange peers participants. About the SLA, we don't really have an SLA. We don't give money to our customers when something went wrong. This is accepted by our customer because of the stability of the network. So we have now a service level description with best effort parameters. Because we can't afford any longer not to offer any solid guarantees, we are now going to take the control of our network farther and closer to the customer. So in the past, we were only in control of the access equipment, and then the leased line and connecting equipment of the customer was for the customer itself. We are now busy with implementing, offering them a leased line that we manage and offering them a device that we manage. So now we really have end-to-end control, and now we can really put an SLA in place that means something. The tools we use to communicate, for incidents, the customer is updated via the ticketing system of the NOC, which is its own ticketing system. The customer can, of course, call and is also updated when an update is put into the ticket. For changes, we use our own integrated ticketing system. When we have major incidents and everybody is calling the NOC, we have an automated voice message. So the people are aware that we are working on the problem, and the help desk doesn't get flooded with calls and doesn't have to open a million tickets. And we also have a bulletin board, which is useful when there is still connectivity, and our customers can check that that's really the first thing that they are going to check. So how does our NOC communicate with our third line and with other NOCs? Whenever they update the ticket, we get a copy. We use different aliases for different queues, for different services. Also, for every service, we have another escalation matrix, because with us internally, it's another department. And something that proves very useful is an instant messaging service between our outsourced NOC, the second line engineers, and the third line engineers. That really is a shortcut to to save time. So how do we do the inter-NOC communication? Really the same way. It's heavily based on email. Also email sent by their ticketing system. All the contact information about our customers and third parties is available to them. They have exactly the same view as us. There is only one base of information, so there is no syncing, no export, no worries. And also the NOC is going to communicate to third parties the way they communicated to the NOC. So if they called, they will call back. If they sent an email, they will send an email back. Of course, this can be altered if requested. So the tools we use for this is the view that our NOC has in the CRM for all the contact information, all our procedures for POP access and for procedures to follow for third parties is put on an external wiki, and all that info is in our NOC ticketing system. The information our NOC documents, they also save a backup of our configuration each night. They have the escalation paths per service. We created for them a workflow for the most common problems, and we also have monthly meetings where we can fine-tune or adjust the performance that our NOC delivers to us. So for the updating and the creation of documentation, they have a shared workspace environment. As I said before, giving them the responsibility to maintain it proved quite cumbersome because it was not really clear whose responsibility with them it was. So quite frankly, it became a mess. What did we do? We took the right in our own hands, and we maintain most of the documentation ourselves. Logic, because you are working with the network every day, and it doesn't mean that your NOC doesn't have any other customers it has to serve. So it's also, like Gareth said, a single point of information is not a recommendation, it's really a truth. Best practice documents, well, we really don't have any because we're such a small team, and it grows organically. We didn't really create best practice documents. We do have the workflows that we have provided to NOC, and we are willing to share them with the community. So, sorry for my fast talking. Yes.
Who has right access on the second level as well, or only the third?
It's the second level and the third.
And the federal manager mentioned, does it push a lot of more security efforts?
The security is within another company. So we provide them with the connectivity and the network, the government, and then the government has chosen another party for the commercial party for implementing the security.
So they do it just based on the application?
Yes.
Not on the network?
It's a managed security service they do. So,
okay, but there are other levels of security.
Yes.
People can access the racks or can tap the fiber or whatever?
Well, the equipment is located at the department itself, and we have access procedures for each of them. So their access is limited. For the configuration of the network, we only do some basic filtering on bogons and some anti-spoofing filtering, but we don't firewall the traffic of the customers. So we have an open policy, and that's really the concern of the customer. Any other? Yes.
How do you use Juniper RPM? What do you use it for? What do you collect?
We use it for delay and for jitter and for packet loss.
You're probing every 5 minutes?
Exactly. We're sending 5 packets every 5 minutes, and then we go and collect the information through SNMP. And then we put it in a nice report every month to see if the service is degraded or not. It's very easy to configure, actually. So it's a nice tool. Yes?
How many people
It's six network engineers and one coordinator, which is also an ex-network engineer. So we are 7 people, which have who manage the 3 networks on a third line basis.
And you originally mentioned all the services like video conferencing and they are also included in the network service. In any pure network.
It's a pure network NOC, but we from my point of view, our video conferencing is not managed by the network team, so not by the 7 people, but by people from our services department, and they have a separate NOC. So people have a sheet with all the contact information for the different problems. So they really do the first classification of the problem. Also, of course, our NOC has the same information that the customer has. So if a customer calls our NOC inadvertently and he has to go to another NOC, our NOC can give them that information. Yes?
You probably have some internal network for the Belnet for these 7 network engineers.
Yes.
Are your outsourced NOC also responsible for this internal network?
No.
Or you manage?
It's an internal service.
By themselves, internally.
And our NOC doesn't cross our internal network. They are redundantly connected straightly to our production networks. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Are they all open or buying
Yes, of course. There are some fields of expertise. So we have somebody who is really in love with IPv6, for instance, and we have somebody who came from the optical environment and then changed to the upper layers. So he is still more versed in the optical equipment, but the knowledge to run everything is actually within each engineer. Yes, one more question.
Where is exactly the limit between first and second level?
The first line is a classification of the problem and a prioritization. So they do the priority, also the authentication of the people who call for social engineering. They don't really have any network intelligence apart from some generic questions they can ask, have you tried turning it on and off again, or stuff like that. But the second line engineers, they are certified engineers. So they really have a good knowledge of the network and also of the equipment. Thank you.